After the dissolution of the Soviet Union in 1991, 14 independent states emerged. Despite this, Russia still occupies 1/9 of the area of the entire globe. Most of the land is located in Asia, but 75% of Russia's population is in the West. Actually, the country itself is considered to be a European country. Now Russia is on the rise again on the world stage. Because of its Go East policy and Russia's strong Asian roots, Spirit of Asia is visiting another continent for the very first time. The trip is short, but the distance is not. We start in Murmansk, the distant port city in the Arctic Kola Peninsula. There's a village of Sami people here. They are a nomadic tribe living in a region supported by sea ice.
This is Arctic folks.
On our return trip, we take a subway in a station which is recognized as the second most crowded in the world after Tokyo. Since the Cold War, Russia has been known as the great cradle of communism. But the Civil War led to instances of terrible famine over time, and the Soviet Union became a part of history. Now newer generations of Russians are out to change the disreputable image of their beloved home by utilizing this massive nation's energy resources and also strategic location on 2 continents, in conjunction with their modern economics and revised social system, in order to develop a new age Russia. The edge of Russia, the edge of the world. Our destination is in the northwest. At the end of winter, the temperature is about -6 degrees Celsius. The locals tell us that the weather is actually not too cold right now, because if we visit it in December, the temperature can drop as low as -40. Of course, we need to keep in mind that we are only 300 kilometers away from the North Pole. This port city started with a population of a few hundred settlers. Now about 300,000 people call Murmansk home. The city reveres a soldier named Alyash, who heroically protected this area during World War II. His monument loftily stands as a landmark, high on a hill 173 meters above sea level. On the side, there's a pure granite pyramid-shaped stone inscription relating the grief of loss. Alyash looks to the west, protecting Murmansk from all intruders, especially the invading troops of Nazi Germany. We head 3 hours south before we reach another beautiful small town with lakes and mountains. It's a great place for travelers to take a vacation and enjoy a variety of winter activities. This snowy village in Khabarovsk is being invaded by modern industries. The Kola Peninsula is one of the most important fossil resource areas in the entire world. It's undeniably very profitable. But what is the cost of this development? It's taken a major toll on the quality of life here. There is a severe price to pay when the end result deteriorates nature's purity. In December, there's an important event for these cold region residents. Ice sculpting artists create their art with ice in the village. This is the ice tunnel to enter the Museum of Ice Sculptures, where we can learn stories from the displays in the freezing cold. Each year there's a different theme. This year it's about the history of Russia. It's safe to say that we can travel across Russia from one end of the tunnel to the other. There are 160 different ethnic groups in Russia, but this is no problem at all because 80% of them are actually Russians. A very accessible education system allows them all to use the same language while they're living in different cultures. Transportation is very efficient and well maintained, even in remote areas. We find this to be very true as we travel on a main road which has had the snow shoveled aside. Because of the clear roads, we don't have to stop anywhere until we arrive at Lobosero village, which is home to the Sami people. Here we switch to something more convenient and travel on ice.
So from the road it's 10 minutes of drive on snowmobile. So in summer you can come here on the car, but now they don't clean the road, but snowmobile can go anywhere. So the lowest temperature in these areas is minus 50. So now it's around minus 12, so it's rather warm. But it depends. For in Murmansk it's warmer. In Murmansk the lowest temperature ever recorded is minus 40. In this area is minus 50. But tonight for it's like -10.
The Sami people are one of the original nomadic groups of Lapland in the north of Norway, Finland, and the Kola Peninsula. Lovosero village is considered the capital of the Samis. They actually stopped being nomads and settled here in 1574. Reindeer hunting is a thing of the past and has given way to farms welcoming travelers to feed and play with the animals in a very relaxed environment. Now the people have changed their way of making a living, and the animals have become more like pets.
Это из ног оленя. Это очень теплая вещь. Но чтобы их сшить, надо убить 8 оленей.
These souvenirs, knife sheaths, and hot soups are all made from reindeer. All of these reindeer products are exclusively reserved for the Sami people. Along with having exclusive rights to the products, the Samis also have assumed ultimate responsibility when it comes to preserving the reindeer.
Здесь за 90-е годы на этой территории практически все выбито, и здесь сейчас все восстанавливается, то, что было утеряно.
Nikolai is a real-life Santa Claus who affectionately takes care of his flock. He always sends them back into the forest, and the reindeer never fail to return to Nikolai.
Reindeers not like nobody. They look on you with very sad face, and they are unlike nobody. Now we have 7 reindeers. 3 stand in team, 1 stand here, and another 3 just go in first because we don't know where they live in. We hold only 1 reindeer on rope. All another just go in somewhere around because they're spread animal. They never go in alone. If one will on rope, everybody will go in there, not go around, because they should be together. Because one reindeer is very easy food for Wolverine, for example. We have many Wolverines here, and on winter it's main enemy for reindeers. On summer we have much more enemy for reindeers, like bear, because 3 years ago one bear killed 2 of our reindeers in maybe 100 meters from our house. That's many bears because it's wild forest. There is there is not joke because we have only 2 little village in maybe 100 kilometers around. That's completely wild forest. We have bears.
After filling up on their regular meals and some food from travelers, the reindeer are then ready to entertain the visitors.
They unlike work, and they if too tired for work, they just falling down and laying. You cannot make something with them because you can beat them. You can make everything. They will sleeping. Yeah, if they were too tired for work. But we never use it because we were normal owners. We were not sadists. They're funny, but unfortunately they unlike human because the domestic reindeers, we have wild reindeers and domestic reindeers. That is domestic reindeers, but that is not dog or cat. They never like humans because, if be honest, domestic reindeers have only 2 ways in his life career. First way, at ride reindeers, they unlike work, they unlike rides. But we save them, we keep them, we care about these reindeers. Second way, it be sausages. They have not another way, unfortunately. That's the reason why they unlike human, because human not make some good thing for reindeers.
The Sami people are born with an instinct for hunting. They must go out there with a wingman or the hunt will be incomplete.
Вперед, едем,
We feed them mostly during winter. We feed them on reindeer meat. We buy reindeer meat, sometimes salmon, and mostly it's goats, heads. So we just in the morning we give them a soup. So we make like very rich soup, and then in the evening already like a proper meal.
As long as you're not intimidated by its monstrous size, you'll quickly come to realize that this Siberian husky is actually very friendly. They live as a family and work as a team with their own leader.
Ay, 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 ay. We put puppies, so they kind of they copy the behavior, and it's easy to manage puppies. Then later you can let this out, and you let puppies, and they will just follow him. Then you call the adult dog, and puppies follow him all the time. So even when you feed, adult dog wouldn't start to eat food before puppies finished. Yeah. And it's about 7-8 months they would start to to define their relationship. So when puppy is growing older, then they would start already to show. Adult dog would show that this is my bowl, this is my food, this is your food. So now it's apart. So nowadays it's very popular to have Siberian Husky or at home. So people buy a puppy, and then they raise them till 8 months, 1 year, and then they get tired because you need to give some activity, you need to pay attention to them. And people start to look for a place to give it up. So this one was owned by another person, and then he just gave it to us. So he was not raised here. He's not like his family. It's very difficult to integrate him into this family. So he can start to fight with males. So it's better to keep him there. And he howls a lot. But he's very good pulling dog too.
A snowstorm is blustering, as if to say goodbye to the long winter. Everything is covered in white, including the architectural beauty of the local dwellings and the buildings from the Soviet era. Warmth can be found in this Russian Orthodox Church, which was influenced by the Byzantines and first introduced by Vladimir the Great in the year 988. At that time, the ravages of war had dramatically decreased the population. The Soviet Union was dissolving, and the people were turning to religion to get them through the arduously trying time of famine. In difficult times, public utilities can be one of the things to provide relief. So public transportation has been set up to go absolutely everywhere. Isolated ghettos are rarely seen in Russia. They are all systematically arranged, and each and every road leads to the capital city of Moscow.
If it's at 50 kilometers from Moscow, count it from here. And these are, you see, all animals inhabiting different parts of Russia. So we see which kind of animals live in north, which live in south, and who lives in west. Yeah, and this is main entrance to Red Square, Resurrection Gate, historic museum, and Moscow City Hall.
The subway in Moscow was built during the Soviet era. It's unique because of its spectacular paintings, sculptures, chandeliers, and glassware, as well as granite and marble architecture. Our guide tells us that it's common for subway dwellers to experience sensory overload and completely lose track of time.
This is how Moscow looks like. The Kremlin is lying in the middle of the city center. It's here. We are right now in the northeast here, and we'll take our ride on the Ring Line. Ring Line is the most beautiful. It goes all around downtown. Yeah. So we'll see this station, this one. Here we'll change. Here we change line, and we'll go to the Kremlin. Yeah, this way. Here. So you see, most of us live in suburbs. We don't live here. Maybe 5% of population live in downtown. So we live in suburban areas, in southwest, northwest, and it takes like 1 hour by metro. Sometimes 40 minutes, sometimes half an hour to get to here. And we also sometimes need to take first bus or trolley bus to get us to metro station. For example, first I take bus and then metro to go to city center.
The routes here are represented by numbers, which is easier than using colors. The number 5 is the most crowded one because it runs a circular route which connects with all of the other lines. We are intrigued by the possibility of going to the legendary city of Vladivostok, which is as far east as we can possibly go in the massive nation of Russia. We're inspired to follow these city developments eastbound in Russia. We strongly believe that Russia prepared for us But is Asia ready for the world when the winds of change begin to shift?